Hello, Merry Christmas, everybody. I know. Don't give me any stuff. It's been a minute. A lot of change going around these parts here in Georgia at the Bowers house. Good change, though. Good change. A lot of faith-driven change, if I'm being honest. It's a combination of that. And a combination of people just being busy. It's hard to get guests during the holidays. I really, shame on me, new podcaster. It's tough to get people. Everybody's got schedules. Everybody's got families. Boy, I miss being a kid when all you had to do was just wait for Christmas, wait for your gifts and food and candy and all that good stuff. But I'm back, nevertheless. Hopefully, while you're doing your last minute shopping or already on vacay mode, as I have been. That's the other thing, too. I've been off work since Halloween. And you would say, well, don't you have time to do more episodes? Again, I'm off. You guys aren't. So it makes it a little tough. However, I have a special guest today. Near and dear to my heart. Some of you may know her. A lot of you won't. This is a different episode. I'm going to stop saying the way this podcast has been going, as far as the guests that I've had for you that have been faithful to listening, the fans out there, this is going to be kind of a reverse role. What if you were still a teenager? What if you hadn't made the choices that we all talk about that we've made? Obviously, we don't own time machine. It doesn't exist. So what do we have to do? We have to get 16-year-olds. We have to get, teenagers. And wouldn't it be interesting to hear what kids are thinking today? We like to think we know because of TikTok and social media and everything like that. People eating Tide Pods and stuff of that nature. But what are they thinking? What do they think they want to do for a living? And that brings us to our guest tonight, whenever you're listening to this. So anyhow, I'll stop rambling. Without further ado, I bring to you Miss Kaylen. Kaylen, say hello to everybody.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kaylen. I am Keith's daughter, and I'm 16 years old.
What? Yep. I put my daughter on the podcast. So do you know how this podcast works, Kaylen?
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right. Now, she's being a little apprehensive with her speech, but trust me, she's a talker. I'm just going to cut to the chase. Kaylen, when you were a kid, because now you're not a kid anymore, you're 16. When you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grow up?
Well, I wanted to be many things, but the one thing I could remember is I always wanted to be some kind of singer, some kind of dancer, and a hairstylist. And altogether, that made me want to be Beyonce. That's who I wanted to be, a singer, a star.
That type of person, you didn't want to be Beyonce, right?
Well, not exactly her, but kind of in some other form of fashion.
You wanted to have a brand for yourself.
I wanted to be famous, like a singer-dancer.
What drew you to wanting to be... in your opinion, how old were you when you first thought, like, I want to be famous? I want to have a brand. Because that's what you're basically saying is you wanted a brand about you. When I say a brand, I mean, there's some adults that don't know what a brand means. Who you are as everybody on this earth is a brand, whether they realize it or not. When they hear that person's name, when they hear Keith Bowers, I'm a brand. And I know what my brand is. Sometimes it takes a lot of time to realize what your brand is, what you represent in this world. When did you feel you wanted to make that brand famous?
Okay, so I remember back in California when we lived there, you would buy us all of the Just Dances and all those things. So
Yeah, Just Dance is a video game, old people.
that's where I started to see all the dances and the music with
How old were you?
famous artists. I think I was around probably like 8, 9, around that age. Like
Okay.
that's probably where it started because I would see all the cool songs and dances and I really wanted to be like that. And then I had YouTube Kids. It's basically YouTube and then it's just for kids. And then I would watch a lot of music videos of my favorite songs and I would see the way they're like, say for Beyonce or something. I would see her makeup and her hair, how it's all nice and stuff, and how she can dance really well and sing. So I put all those things together and I really wanted that to happen.
Okay. Is that still something you hold near and dear to your heart? Like if money was no object and it was, I don't want to say guaranteed, but if you wanted it, you could have it. Is that something that you still hold near and dear to your heart?
Not something I hold near and dear to my heart, or not anything at all, but I still like music a lot.
Okay, so you still like music?
Yeah.
Okay, and tell people, who are you? What do you do in this world?
I've been playing the flute since 6th grade. I'm a junior now, so I don't know.
Junior and junior high?
Junior in high school, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So since 6th grade, I've been playing the flute, if you guys know what that is. And then
They know what the flute is.
some people don't. And then I just started playing the guitar like 3 years ago.
Has it been 3 years?
Yeah. I think I started in 8th grade. And then I do marching band, all that kind of stuff. And I've been doing it since my freshman year of high school. And I really want to become a drum major. If you don't know what a drum major is, look it up on Google.
Tell them. Explain it.
Okay,
Explain it
so a drum major is basically the heartbeat of the marching band. So a marching band is basically a band that marches on the football field during halftime. And that marching band person, they stand up on top of some kind of like structure and they move their hands around. They're keeping some kind of, it's called a tempo, some kind of beat. And everyone, all the little band people, they watch you while you're up there and you follow their hands so you don't get off tempo and everything goes crazy. And they have a really big job. They get all the cool things. They have a lot of responsibility and you get to boss people around. So
You get to boss people around.
Yeah.
You enjoy that.
you get to be mean, like you're a teacher basically to them. They can't disrespect you. So
They can't disrespect you.
Nope.
Why? People disrespect you?
well, some other kids are rude to other kids in high school, but you can't do that to a drum major, then you'll get kicked out of marching band. And marching band brings good things, good scholarships and stuff. So
This is very true.
if you get kicked out, then that's a wrap for you. But yeah, I'm going to be trying out for a drum major next year, and it's going to be my first time ever doing that. And I got to go to a drum major clinic, which is where they teach you like the basics of it, and I got to jump right into it. Because I have no clue how to do all of that. So,
That's what YouTube is for.
yeah, I know. I have to start practicing more and more.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. Okay, so music. So the arts is your first, and I apologize, everyone. Kaylen's getting over a little bit of a cold, so if you hear the sniffles, it's going around. I think I'm the only. I know I'm the only person that hasn't had it in the house, and I won't get it. But we won't get to that. Anyhow, so the arts, that's where your heart is.
Yes.
Have you thought about what that looks like graduating high school and going into college and further on? Like what you want, like,
Yeah, what
I don't want to say
do.
what you want to do for a living,
Yeah.
because that's still such a broad question for
But what
you.
I want to do in college, not
Sure.
high school, because it's going to be different.
Yeah.
Well, I know for sure that I really want to stay in music. I'm going to stay playing my flute. I'm going to stay playing my guitar. I don't know what college I'm going to, because that can help depend exactly what I want to do, because some colleges need flutes players, some colleges need clarinet players, and you can get good money for that. If it's a certain college that needs a flute player or flute players, you can get paid to go to their college.
Now you're talking scholarships, right?
Yeah, all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, not checks.
But I don't know exactly what I want to do with music. I know I don't want to be a band director and teach kids in high school or elementary school or middle school, because that's not what I want to do. But I know I like watching movies a lot. I like all that kind of sound effect things and using different things to make certain sounds. So maybe I could be a sound specialist for movies, play my flute for something, or my guitar. I feel like I can expand on that. That would be pretty cool if I could.
That would be cool. So like scores for movies.
Yeah, making score. Well, maybe not making scores, but playing.
You know what I'm talking about when I say scores.
Scores.
Yeah,
That's what they call them whenever we have our concerts. Yeah, I think that would be pretty cool if I was playing in those scores.
I apologize, folks. My microphone has decided to go to sleep. It is leaning off the table, literally. So I apologize for the little. You hear that little clutter? We're live, anyhow. And I don't know how to cut that sound out, so I apologize. Anyhow, okay, all right. So some type of playing. Now you're saying doing scores for movies. This is after college.
Yeah, after college, or
I see.
Maybe even during. Well, all I know is for college band stuff, there's marching band, college band, but that's a whole nother step from. It's very different from high school. Very more strict, and a lot of more time. Way more time is dedicated that you have to be there. I wouldn't have. Not that I wouldn't have a life, but I wouldn't. All my life would be in marching band.
I think you would have a life.
But like I wouldn't be able to do like
there's schools. Yeah, you're too young to remember. We watched Ohio State versus Michigan once, and the band, when they play at halftime, they actually spell out Ohio State. It's really
I know.
Cool.
I've seen videos like that.
Yeah.
Have you not seen those videos on YouTube where the marching band, like, they make different kind of things? Like, there was one time the whole band made like a person walking on the football field. It's really cool looking.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, they do a lot of cool stuff. And they play all the little jams. They play all the little Beyonce, Kanye West little songs in the stands.
Yeah. No, our lights changed.
What is going on today?
No, the lights change. So for people that know me, I tape in the basement. That's the studio / office. And the lights are on a timer. They have smart lights, I guess you call it. And they just decided, because I have it set up this way, they go to nice dark lights. I guess. Yeah, it's nice because it's nighttime. Anyhow, okay. So, question, and you probably already answered this.
Well, I can talk about it more then. I don't know what it is.
No. I didn't ask the question yet. If money was no object, like you didn't have to worry about how much money you were going to get paid, how you're going to buy a house, any of that stuff, what would you do for a living?
I would do something I would really enjoy doing.
Yeah, we know that part. But what would that be? Have you ever considered that? Like, what makes you the most happiest in this life that you've lived so far?
Probably making other people happy and talking to strangers.
Interesting. How do you feel when you talk to strangers? What explain that? Like, what feeling do you get when you're talking to strangers? And what did you say? You said making other people feel happy?
Making people feel happy. So just church is an amazing place full of amazing people that I always get to see every Sunday. And whenever there's new people coming in, sometimes I get to lead them to the next steps desk, which is basically like for new people to get information, all that kind of stuff.
Visitors at the church.
Yeah, visitors. And I just love like talking to them and just being like, hey guys, are you guys new here? And I put a big smile on my face, and they're like all like scared and not scared, but like just nervous probably and confused that it's their first time there.
Strangers, yeah.
Well, it's their first time there at the church and they don't know where the sanctuary is and all that stuff. And like when I just step in, like, and I just talk to them about everything, I'm like helping them. They just seem so appreciative.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, it's a word.
And they just have a big smile. They're like, oh my gosh, they're like, thank you so much. And like I can see that I really help them with those kind of things. And same thing like when I go to the store or something, or if I'm at the mall and I'm ordering food at the food court, like just putting a smile on your face and being kind to someone, like being kind to the employees there and all that kind of stuff, like it could make their day. Everyone could be treating them really badly, and then you come up to them and it just makes them feel a little bit better. So if there was some kind of, I don't know exactly what kind of job, but if there was some kind of job that I could just talk to strangers and make them feel happy or something like that, and just talk to them, get to know them better, or help them in some kind of way, I would love doing that.
Sweetheart, there are a lot of jobs.
Yeah.
That's what people do for a living.
Yeah.
Some that you make a lot of money from, some that you don't, you know.
Yeah, like being a therapist or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's an option. That's an option among many. One thing I'll say about you that I noticed from, I won't say birth, but since you could be social as in elementary school and things of that nature, you always, and this goes back to Mitchell. What are you doing? Huh?
I was burping.
Oh, you're looking off mic. I'm like, what are you doing?
I didn't want to burp into the mic.
Oh,
not little LaCroix.
That wouldn't be cool.
LaCroix sparkling water.
Oh, there you go. No, what I was going to say is you've always been that way. You've always been a person that's very social.
Like extrovert.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know, you're definitely an extrovert. I know I am.
I'll do anything in public to make someone laugh. Everyone loves me in high school because they know I'll just go up to a random stranger and start dancing and then run away.
Okay. All right. I'm sure there's lots of people laughing right now.
They probably don't understand, but if my friends listening, you know what I mean.
Well, you be sure to tell your friends about the podcast.
I will. I do.
All right. So, no, you're definitely an extrovert. What I was going to say is what I've noticed since elementary school, you put yourself in situations where you're the leader of the pack. Now, I'm not just saying that as a proud daddy, but just, I mean, there's people that are leaders and there's people who are not. I know
what you mean. At school, whenever we have projects and things, I make sure if I have to work with some kind of group and it's not by my choice, I make sure everyone gets things done. I ask them questions. I'm like, okay, have you gotten this part done? Or like all that kind of stuff because I'm not trying to fail in it. If we're going to be put in a group, if I'm going to be with other people, and I'm going to make sure things get done.
Right. Now, I would say start just as a, not just as a father, but as an adult. We realized, like I did a podcast last night. Oh yeah, everybody. I don't think the episode, well, no, by the time you hear this, I believe the episode will be out. It's called Dad's Whiskey Cave. Oh boy, maybe I shouldn't. No, it's a good episode. It's a good episode with my buddy Tony and Peter. We had a very good conversation, similar to what, because they're asking about my podcast, and they're on the same wavelength I am. Positive podcast. Some of the humor is a little blue, I will say that. We're clean over here, but real good conversation about this stuff. And what I was going to say, the reason I bring that up as a segue, start paying attention. We were talking about this last night, and so to speak, start paying it. Your parents, or some parents like our generation, and people will tell you, find something you're going to do for a living, and these things. Like, we were taught, like, work is like chores. Like, you're not really supposed to enjoy it. It's not something you were already good at you have to go learn it somewhere and then do it for a living. And if you enjoy it, I guess you're kind of lucky, but most likely you won't, because it's like chores, but that's okay because they're paying you. Shut up, do what you got to do. And then when you get off work or you're on vacation, you get to play like a kid, but that's not the way life works. Myself, Tony, and Peter all had have three dreams of things you just don't talk about as an adult anymore. But you still want to do. And it's things that we're already good at. So I would say to you, I recognize the fact that you are a leader. You like the arts, or you're interested in the arts. Leadership. You're funny. You're an extrovert. You like talking to strangers. You like making people happy. You care about people. I know, because I'm your father. Mm-hmm. Those are all things that it won't help you pass a math test. But I tell you what, hands down, for the rest of your life, it'll be a tool that you will sharpen. And every adult that's listening to this, I'm sure, is shaking their head. Yep. We've all been there. And there's some people that have it, and there's some people who don't. You have it. I have it. You have it. Uncle Kelly has it. Uncle Tony, Uncle Plez has it. All my friends have it for the most part. Most of them. But it's a skill set that if you can master that, and you will master it because time will go on and you just get older and you just keep sharpening that. And you genuinely care about people and what they're up against, man, you'll be very successful. Now, I don't know what that job looks like. There's so many different things you can go into. And I know, just like the rest of us, now that we're all older, once you get to college, you think you know what you want to do. Like I thought I knew what I wanted to do. And then your eyes get open to so many other things. That's why I told you, like with band, and then you were doing chorus as well. You just stopped chorus.
Well,
but
I have to get into a 4-year college.
Well, explain why.
Because you have to have 2 years of a language,
and a foreign language, yeah.
Foreign language, and then we only have 2 electives at our high school, and I obviously am going to always do band. And then I've just been doing band and chorus since 6th grade too, since middle school. And then I had to switch this year. I had to take chorus off because I only have 2 electives. But if I want to get into a 4-year college, then I have to do Spanish. So I went to Spanish instead of chorus. I'm still doing band. I'm always going to do band. So.
Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with that. What I was going to say is once you get to college, your eyes, everything ggets a little bigger.
Yeah, I don't know what college is going to look like for me. That's why I have no clue where I'm going to go. I know I don't want to go far. And people keep asking me where am I going to go? What do I want to do? I kind of just want to see where it goes. Like you're saying, your eyes get opened up to a whole bunch of different kind of things. And that's why I'm not trying to not that I'm not trying to make any plans or anything about what I'm going to do, but I'm just trying to trust the process of everything. Yeah,
you just keep moving forward.
Yeah.
And the Lord will show you where you're supposed to go.
Yeah, especially that. I would just be praying probably my senior year. I mean, I could start praying right now about it, but just praying every time of just God leading me, because I know God has a plan for me. If I know that He loves me and I love Him, then I already have His vision, and I know that He has a plan for me. So I'm gonna keep trusting His plan. But yeah, I could keep praying about that, of just asking Him, what are you leading me to during my college time and after my college time? Because I have no clue where I will be.
Well, that it's like layers of an onion. They just keep peeling it back, and it reveals a little bit more and a little bit more, and that's just how this life works.
Yeah.
If everybody had all the answers in the beginning,
then it would just be boring. Then everyone would know everything.
I don't know. Some people, including myself, I would have liked to have known no one could have told me when I was going to CSUN over by Aunt Carmen and Uncle Bill's houses in San Fernando Valley, guys. Well, some people know that already. That I'd be, whatever I was doing at CSUN wouldn't matter for the most part, and I would end up moving to Georgia with my family and doing what I do now. Man, there's so much change. I would love to tell you guys. I will tell you guys, but it's not there yet. My closest friends know. But yeah, you don't have the answers, and you surely don't have the answers at your age. And all of my friends, most of them, and myself, we would stress about that. Like, what were we going to do? My buddy Matt, we'd be driving, after going to a club or whatever, just driving in Beverly Hills, heading back home and just looking at the homes, like he said in that episode, and we would just dream about, gosh, man, how do we get to this? We knew where we wanted to be. We just didn't know how. Yeah. And it's not... You're going to get there regardless. Yeah.
And sometimes you see things that happen, like you just said, you wish you knew, that wasn't going to lead you to anything. What were you talking about? Yeah,
basically. If you had all the answers, CSUN didn't lead me to anything. But that was my fault. Yeah. It's because of what I chose to get out of it.
But
it wasn't the school's fault.
Yeah, but you never know. That could have happened for some kind of reason. Something could have been happening, or you were supposed to go or something, but that's why you were put there. You never know.
I know.
Things. Well, I know that didn't lead you to anything. It's not my episode.
But everyone knows my story, so I won't. Everyone knows my story because they know my episode. I was very vocal about that and open. But we'll get back on you. I won't go off on a rant with that. But yeah, start. It's going to sound dumb, but start writing down those things. Yeah. Start journaling those things. I like making people happy. I like talking to strangers. Talking to strangers, there's people who refuse.
Yeah,
refuse to talk to strangers. Do it for a living? Yeah, right. They're not on that. Mm-hmm. I knew when you were young, elementary school, that you weren't scared of new people. And I said, that's something that's going to carry her further than any, whatever you want to call. I won't say degree, because degrees are very important. But that trait, that'll be with her for the rest of her life. She will always have, this podcast is about jobs, right? So I'm basing this on jobs, but it's not just about jobs. You'll be successful in life. But you'll never go hungry because you can talk.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that work with me that, and I'm not trying to make fun of them, but they chose this career so that they didn't have to talk.
Yeah, I know.
They fix stuff, and that's it. They don't convince anyone that it needs to be fixed or anything, and they like that. That's the one difference with me. It's why I have friends that do what I do for a living, Frank and Adrian and Edwin and the other Edwin, and you don't know which Edwin I was talking about. Edwin.
I don't know which one. I only know the other Edwin. Whenever we're throwing the pumpkins off of the top balcony.
Who?
The one that would always come over to Uncle Kelly's house.
Edwin. Yeah. Uncle Edwin.
I don't know there was another one.
Yeah, there is. He came to visit with his daughter and his sister. Remember, that's the first time we went to the Braves game. A couple years ago. Edwin, Hispanic guy. Remember his daughter? She's a little bitty girl. You don't remember? Okay, I'll show you the pictures. Edwin, I'm sorry. Yeah, anyhow, local 250, woo woo. It's the union. Anyhow, what was I going to say? I got off track. I apologize, folks. It's different talking to your daughter about the future, but
because I don't have anything yet.
No, you do, but you're on your way, and I think people can hear it in your conversation that they know you got the goods. They know you're going to be just fine. It's interesting to talk to young people because we know what we were thinking when we were young, but we don't know. I mean, just with your friends around school, like, what do you guys talk about as far as like what you want to do for a living? What are your friends talking about? Is anyone focused on that?
Not that I know. Well, there's never been a conversation like brought up about that kind of stuff. So I don't really no. Everyone just thinks they're going to be in high school for forever. So
it seems like people are living for now.
Yeah, people are just living for basically the world, I would say.
Living for the world. What do you mean living for the world?
Doing the things that you do in the world, worldly things, just having fun and throwing everything away because you're alive now and you have all this time later, but that's not what it's about. Because those things that you do in high school, or like that I keep seeing people on my school throwing really gross parties and all that stuff. I didn't know that was actually real. I thought that was just in the movies, but those some crazy.
What are people doing? I'm curious. Like, this is good.
I thought this was supposed to be a little friendly.
It is. Podcast. Well, I mean, you don't have to cuss, but
no,
what are people doing? Because there's people who don't have kids in high school, so this helps them. There's people out there that listen that still have little kids, like Brent and Jesse.
Yeah,
they're cousins, my nieces. What are people doing at these parties?
Yeah,
like, how's it? What we know what partying was back in the 90s, but what's partying now?
Okay, well, obviously I've never been to any of those, and I never will. But not my friend, but she was on a good track going, and now she's not. So she's told me about certain things that, like, it's after they had a homecoming after party, like super late at some girl's house, and she's a junior this year, but last year we were sophomores, so we were little 15-year-olds?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow,
15, 16-year-olds. Yeah. And the parents would let a whole bunch of kids from our school come over to their house, mess it all up, and they would have alcohol there, and obviously, but yeah, but the parents would allow that, and they would just let them do whatever they wanted to. And then this homecoming party that just happened this year, I heard that it was at some dude's house, and someone peed on his little brother's mattress, and he had to like clean it up, and his parents got all mad at him. His parents didn't care about the alcohol part and everyone getting drunk and smoking and all that stuff. They cared about his little brother's bed, which is really sad.
That's gross.
Yeah, and then some girls, they're getting treated like a little doll, and then they get passed around by all those boys and stuff because they think attention is cute and stuff, but then once they all are drunk and stuff, then it just gets all messy. And then this one girl was telling me about it, how the dude that threw the party, he was trying to like unclothe her and he was trying to kiss her and stuff, and then she like the next day at school, and she had to like text him like, you did this without my consent, like I was literally drunk. That's a really scary situation to be in, and then you just have to walk around in the hallways and see that person the next day at school. That's really disgusting. But yeah, that's what people do. Even when I was in 8th grade, we would be going to the little high school football games, and I would be hearing just rumors, different things about different people, what's going on. And little kids, well, yeah, they were vaping and doing edibles and all that kind of stuff in 8th grade, 7th grade. Even elementary school, I would hear about that kind of stuff.
Elementary school?
Yeah, well, those are kids that are really, like, just messed up.
Yeah.
They're not, those kind of kids aren't at my school anymore. They go to this place called ACE for, like, the bad kids that get in trouble.
We had a bad kid school. I know I never knew where it was, but it was called Desert Winds when we got to high school. I know it's somewhere in Lancaster, California, but people would go to our school and something would happen. They were just doing too much, and then we just wouldn't see them anymore. And, we had no social media or texting, and it would be like, what happened to so-and-so? And it'd be like, oh, they're at Desert Winds. It's like, oh.
Yeah, it's basically, if you get put there, it's more likely just because you got caught like with like a vape or some kind of smoking thing or weed or something. That's usually when you get sent over there. Maybe if it's like a really, really bad fight, but usually when it's a really bad fight, you just get OSS, which is you have to stay at your house for a couple of days.
That's called suspended.
Yeah.
At least
when we were around. And then ISS is basically just detention for the whole day. And then you're going to have to stay in that room for the whole day for like days in a row, which sucks.
They had that when we were in high school.
But yeah, those kind of things, like that's why I said, like people think just living worldly and all that kind of stuff, doing those things now, it's just like, oh, it's just for the fun of it. I have my whole life ahead of me. But those things affect you.
There's people that are 40 years old that are still making those kinds of decisions.
Yeah, I know. It's probably because they did it back then.
Well, yeah, no, it's a pattern that people don't stop. The older you get, I know the older I get, I realize the same things that the teacher was telling us in elementary school, like my classic analogy for this is, hey, everyone, please be quiet. I got something to say. There was always two kids that just had to keep talking. They always had to go, hey, so-and-so in the corner. I said, but back then they could say what I'm about to say. Shut up. And they would, shut up or whatever. Same thing with adults now. It's the same at work. There's always a dude who has to tell somebody something in the corner. They can't shut up. But I think it's a human thing.
Mm-hmm. There's a verse in the Bible about it that says, says like, the evil, they will not sleep till they do evil. They drink the they drink the wine of wickedness or something like that. Like where they... Like, no matter what, they're going to just keep trying to get back at you. They will not sleep until they do evil or something. I can't remember what verse it is. It's highlighted in my notes. But that's why I, like, truly understand that. Like, I'm not like, oh, wow, that's surprising.
People, I mean, the bottom line, the bigger picture is people complicate their own lives. Now there are circumstances that come upon people that it's not fair. Like you have really jacked up parents that do bad things to kids or, relatives that do bad things to kids or just circumstances. I hate to say luck, but there is a devil in this world, whether you want to believe it or not, and bad things happen. But there's also free will, and there's people that complicate their lives. They complicate their lives with things, you don't know anything about this yet, but like with credit, where they don't and adults, you guys know what I'm talking about, but credit, stealing, whatever it is, they complicated their lives. They added the bad baggage to their lives when it wasn't there. They could have just chilled. They could have just been, just do what they're supposed to do, but there's something in them that makes them want to do that, or they just feel they can get away with it, whatever the case may be. I would say for yourself, and I know a lot of adults are listening to this and they agree, you would have to agree with me. You guys know no one's perfect. You're going to make mistakes, but you can control it. It doesn't give you the will to go, well, I'm going to just go, like you said, those people that are going to the parties and doing all that stuff. There's some people that would listen to what we're saying and laugh and go, everyone's gone to that. Yeah. You're proof that not everyone has to go. There's other things in this life.
I was around those kind of people in middle school, and they were already doing, they weren't going, I don't know if they had parties, I don't know, but they were already under the influence of those kind of things. And I was not around those things, but like I was friends with them. Every day I would be with them, and as you can see, I didn't end up like them. God took those people out of my life, and they're away from me. I'm not friends with them anymore. I have new people, good people, and they don't even have to be like Christians or anything or like me. They're just not like them.
Yeah, no,
like a bad
it's
influence.
The same for me too. There's people that you just stop having stuff in common with them.
Yeah,
because they're still. Oh boy, I'm not going to name any names, but back in Palmdale, where I went to high school, there's just certain people that, like I had a group of friends that just hung out at the mall, but not the way you think. They would just go up there and try to steal. just sit in the food court for hours. They'd see me because I had my license, I had a car, and beg for a ride home. And they got stolen merchandise on them. Like, you stop when you get away from those people and you see what starts happening to those people. You know, you'll find out, oh, so and so got arrested, and it's like, arrested? What? Like, and your life is going this other course, but they're still screwing up. You know, and then I would come back to Palmdale, you know, after I left, going to college and all that. And these people, I won't say the best they could do, but what they decided to do, they're just working at Walmart, or they're still working in the mall, and that's their career. They're not doing it while they're going to college. No, they just said, this is all I'm going to do. So you stay away. I realized when I was young, stay away from those people. The people that just want to go, they got to get high every day. You stay away from those people because it doesn't. There's certain common denominators that, I'm sorry, there's no such thing as a doctor who smokes out every day, is super gangster rap affiliate, and let's throw a couple of layers on it. Adults, honest adults, still street fights. He still raps, you know, on the weekends. He's got a mixtape he's coming out with. So
all little high schoolers want to do.
And he's a doctor. There's a reason those two don't go together. The success isn't there. And it was the same in my time, and it's the same in your time. You stay away from that stuff because it's not going to lead you to any. It might be fun at times. I mean, some of those people back in the day, I have some jokes. I have some phrases that we used to all say just as a clique that I still use to this day under my breath, but that's where it stops. Like, nothing good came out of those people's lives. None of those people. And I'm looking at them in the face now. And I still talk to people, friends of mine that still live in Palmdale and all that stuff. And they'll tell me, so-and-so is still going to Marie Kerr. You don't know what Marie Kerr Park is, but it's like, oh, I don't know. We don't have any. It'd be like, yeah, the same way you guys, your friends would hang out at, say, Chick-fil-A or something, or up at Target, Canton Marketplace. We would go to this park and we'd all play basketball and all that stuff. We were 16. There's people in their 40s that are still going to that park and just hanging out. Bums, basically. Like, but those people, we when we were little kids, Grandpa, my dad, we would run into people with him that he went to high school with, and it was the same thing, but we were little kids. We couldn't tell. And I remember there was a guy, he had a Ninja. A Ninja is a motorcycle, a speed bike. And and then he was like sitting at the light, and he saw Grandpa, and he's like, hey man, what's going on? And all I knew, I think Uncle Kelly was too little, but all I knew was this dude is cool. Like, he had the helmet, he had the jacket, he had everything. And he went and popped a wheelie and went on his way. And Grandpa said, you think that guy's cool, huh? And I was like, man, that's cool. You know, I was probably 8, and he goes, he's a bum. And I was like, no, he's not. He's got a really cool motorcycle. He's cool. And he goes, that's all he has is that motorcycle. He still lives with his mother. He's still, he has no real job. He's just working, doing like retail, like just junk job, basically. And all he has is that motorcycle. He doesn't have a family. He doesn't have a wife. No one's going to marry him because he doesn't have a job. And I was like, oh, I never forgot that. But those people are still out there. They'll always be there. Now, that may not be true for all those people that party and all that you stand alongside, but it will be true for some of them. They'll just never pick up, and you stay separate from them as much as possible.
They're already out of my life.
Yeah, so you don't have to be a weirdo and not speak to them, but you say hi and you keep it pushing. You keep it moving.
I don't give them dirty looks or anything.
Yeah, no, you don't. You don't point the finger at them and act all righteous and all that good stuff.
That's not what I do.
Yeah, no, that's not cool either. But anyhow, it sounds like you are on the right track, Miss Kaylen. Well, we'll bring this to a close. this is the first time we've had a young guest on, and I have been meaning to do this episode longer than I'd like to admit. And I'm not just saying that because of the holidays, but this was something I felt in my heart probably about 2 or 3 episodes in, just talking to young people and getting their perspective on where their head is going into the future. You know, I just want you guys to be happy in this life, because life is so short and so important. That happiness, you have to get selfish about the happiness. And if you combine the happiness with what you're good at, start writing that stuff down. Start writing, you know, what you feel your strengths are as a person. That's not weird. There's those people from the parties with I guarantee they're not thinking that seriously. And they're going to make the same mistakes that, you know, some of which I made and a lot of my friends, old friends made. Start writing that stuff down. Get critical about it now, so that you know when you go for job interviews and things like that, like, you know, working part-time jobs while you're in college, you know what you bring to the table, and be confident about it. And if they don't like you or whatever, it's not a good fit, no knock on you. That not the right role for you. And have that boldness, have that confidence. A lot of us didn't. We were just like, man, I'll lie and say whatever I can to get this job at Costco because I heard they pay $20 an hour, which was a lot of money back in the late 90s. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Still to other people this day, that's a lot. For high schoolers. Not for adults, for high schoolers.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's it is for high schoolers, because you guys don't have any bills. You guys are living with your parents, hopefully.
I know that.
Yeah, no. But, okay. All right. Any questions for me? Mm-mm.
What am I supposed to ask you? That's a great
word. Great phrase. No, you can ask me anything. This is you know the creator of the podcast.
Where do you think this podcast is going to lead you to?
Wow, you weren't supposed to ask me something so serious.
But you asked for a question.
No. I know. But you see, guys, I was expecting her to ask me something like I asked her, like, you know, if you could scoop ice cream for a living.
Oh.
No. That's great. That's a great question. Where do I think this podcast is going to lead me to? I will segue that. We just talked about that last night on Tony and Peter's podcast, Dad's Whiskey Cave. For the three of us, like, it's not that I feel this podcast is going to lead me to something. This is like an outlet. Like, because when I go to work, I don't get to talk to people. Like, that's not what I do for a living. I do talk to people, but
not like on this, like this.
My job doesn't depend on me talking to people. I'll put it that way. This is an outlet for that. Like, this is, I mean, I don't have issues, but this is me being a human. Like, this is how I get to, okay, I'm still who I am. Like, who you are. Imagine if you suppressed, talking to strangers, making people feel good, not being afraid to dance and run off or whatever in school. Like, imagine if someone said, I want you to throw away all of that. You don't get to do that anymore. That's my life now. And I know, folks, that sounds very dysfunctional, but it's the truth. I'm just being honest. I'd rather be honest than be fake. So this podcast, it's not that it's going to lead me anywhere. If it does, great. I believe that whatever you love doing, it is going to lead you in success. So I know something great will come from this podcast other than just entertaining people. I do. I honestly believe that.
And you could just not know yet. Like, you don't have to know.
If I'm being completely honest, I have a picture in my head. People, you know, they'll ask me or tell me, you know, you can make money from the podcast and all that good stuff. And I know I can. I'm just going with the flow and enjoying doing episodes. I see stuff ahead of time, and worldly people that aren't believers, they're not going to understand what I'm trying to say, but I've had a vision of doing the podcast for quite a long time. I've had an even stronger vision of doing something like the podcast, and it's going to sound freaky, but doing it in this corner of the basement. I didn't know what it was going to look like. I didn't know it was a podcast yet. I didn't know what it was. When I was building out this space, and a lot of people have seen it in the past, there was always a picture. I mean, just putting the flooring in, pulling wire, doing, the recessed lighting, whatever. I always had a picture of me sitting in this corner. And that's probably the reason I built the room the way I did, of working from this area. And I'm not going to bring it up on the podcast now because it's still early and we're still in faith for this. There's a lot of changes that are going on with me being off work. And it's it seems like whatever I had envisioned is actually happening sooner than later. So where is this podcast going to lead me to eventually? Just happiness, just getting to connect with people. That's where you and I are very similar. I like talking to new people too. That's why what I do at church, I'm the greeting director at, if that's a title. I don't know if they call me director, but I'm the leader of the greeters at church. And I love it. I love it. Every Sunday, it started off as something that I love doing things that kind of not scare me, because I'm not scared of people, but take me out of my comfort zone. And for a long time, I was a person that would attend church, but never serve. When we were in California, they would always, hey, we need people to serve. And I'd always be like, I'm not one of those people. No, I'm not doing that. But I do here in Georgia, and a lot of times it makes me feel sad, because I remember being in California and I'm like, when we moved, those people don't even know we left. They just figure we stopped coming because we weren't as connected as we are with the church that we're with now, Momentum, out here in Woodstock, Georgia. You can look them up on Instagram. Their website, I believe, is momentum.tv or something like that. I apologize. Yeah, it is, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Good church. Very good, really good church.
Yeah. It's my favorite thing to look forward to out of like the whole week.
Same here. I like meeting new people, and the people that you meet when they come back and they talk to you. I've made so many friends. It's the one time of the week currently with what I do for a living currently. I mean, I don't work in a box, folks, but I kind of do sometimes by myself. But no, it's the one time of the week that I get to be as social as I want to be. And that wasn't good enough. That's where the podcast came in. I get to be social with other people. And, one of my favorite things is, too, connecting with lifelong friends that I have that are brothers and sisters in this life that I have lived. And then strangers that new people, because like I've told you guys, strangers are just people that you haven't become friends with yet, most of the time, unless you're a weirdo. But yeah, that's the long answer to where I expect this podcast to lead me. But anyhow, we'll go ahead and close. I don't want to make this too long. We are going to Destin tomorrow for Christmas. This will be a first timer for the Bowers family. We've never gone out of town for Christmas to a vacay destination. I made that phrase up. So we got to get some rest. We have our neighbor coming over so I can show him the ropes for taking care of Mr. Eminem, our fighting, our dog fighting beast of a Labrador pit bull.
He's scared of the dog.
He will tear your arm off.
He's scared of the dog
with immense passion.
No,
and not care at the same time. So we got some stuff to do. We're all packed up, and all that good stuff. And we'll be on the road at 5 a.m. driving to good old Destin, Florida through Alabama. Stop at Buc-ee's and get some what is it? Beaver chips and
Your pecan things.
oh, I can't get that. It's too much sugar. Daddy has not been able to run, and he needs to chill on the calories this holiday season. No, I'm looking forward to Destin because that means I get to get good sushi.
Yeah,
and sashimi.
I've been wanting some sushi really bad lately. But there's no good places in Georgia.
There's some, but we don't live near an ocean, folks. So, yeah, it gets interesting. Sushi places out here, though, for people who are out here. Monkey 68. Both locations, Roswell and Alpharetta. I'm missing. There's Lily's Sushi over in Alpharetta near Six Bridges Brewery, Amy Noel's episode. Shout out to them. There's a few places. There's a few, but you just have to go and look and one of the best. If you come to Georgia, not just for that, but Korean barbecue, and I ain't talking about the little K-pop places. I'm talking about like real deal. They give you a private room, the whole nine. Place called Ari Rang. I haven't brought you there yet.
You'll bring me any place.
Yeah, whoa, yeah. We went to Mojitos, the Cuban place.
You said we were going to go to sushi. You said we were going to go get sushi.
Yeah, the place is far.
And then randomly, you just didn't tell me anything, and then we were at Mojitos. I was like, okay.
Well, that's because Mommy said, yeah, let's go to Mojitos. Because the alternative was Monkey 68, but it gets a little boring there because they start putting on those anime cartoons and mess. Yeah, no, the places, there's good places. I work all over Georgia, or all over the greater Atlanta area, so I am gifted with tasting a lot of stuff. Yeah, no, we'll have to go to Ari Rang. That's Bombay right there. But anyhow, all right, enough of that. You guys have a great and wonderful Christmas. We shall, and we're going to come back and party for New Year's. I hope everybody has some great New Year's plans. I mean, we're older. If people still going out for New Year's, like you still trying to go to a club and buy bottles. I don't know. I never did. New Year's has always been one of my least favorite holidays because it just was too much work to like be somewhere safely, and it was just easier to just stay home, and I always did. As a result, people know I used to throw the parties for New Year's. But anyway, all right, hey everybody, enjoy Christmas and New Year's. Have a great night, have a great morning. I'm not sure when you're listening to this, but if you like it, please leave a comment. Kaylen, do you want them to reach out to you on any of your platforms? She's shaking her head. No, you sure?
There's nothing. I don't even post nothing on anything.
Okay, I don't know what you
I don't want to look at a little 16-year-old's little Instagram account.
Okay, all right. Enough said. That sounds good. You see, that's how we raise them here, safe. I don't have to get her I don't even know what those phones are called anymore. Those baby phones. Oh yeah. They just give you 4 buttons or whatever. Don't have to do any of that if you raise your kid right. But anyhow, you guys, I love you guys. Thank you guys for listening. I apologize for being off the air for so long. It wasn't my fault. Just the holidays, man. And for those friends and even strangers, like nothing's off limits. I'll say this and I'll end it. Nothing's off limits as far as if you want to be on the show. Please hit me up. Email me. Yeah, there we go. Well, go ahead and put my email out there. Cool Keith 578. Yeah, I'm gonna say Cool Keith with a K. So KOOLKEITH 578 @gmail.com. All right. Hit me up. Email me. I'd love to have you on. As long as you got a job. That's the only. There's some people that don't have jobs.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Okay, wrap it up, Buttercup.
Wrap it up, Buttercup. All right, that's it. Thank you, guys.